Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to another knife video. Today I'm going to be discussing why I'm selling most of my knife collection. And I should say this that I've already sold a huge chunk of my knife collection, and here are some remaining ones that I will be selling coming up. Please do me a favor, do not ask to buy any. Um, over YouTube or anything like that. I don't have Facebook Marketplace. I'm going to be selling these via eBay. That's normally my source. Maybe one or two through like Recon One or something. We'll see. But that's where I'll be selling from. Or selling with, excuse me. So, let's get started. So, why am I selling most of my knife collection? Well, the biggest reason is because lately I've sensed that the Lord has really been speaking to me in my heart, impressing on me to get rid of my knife collection. Not as a whole, but just to sell a lot more. And just have to say, it's important to be obedient to the voice of the Holy Spirit. So that's exactly what I'm doing. And, it makes you realize, too, guys, that knives aren't everything. Yes, they're an amazing hobby. I love them. That won't change. But it's all going to burn up in the end anyway. So, on that note, I will be selling these. And I just want to go over some of them, if not a little bit of all. You know what? I'll go over all of them probably. Just a little brief background, history, whatnot. I'll try to make it quick. All right, so first up, this is a old Schrade USA made knife. Okay, I believe this Schrade, I believe most of the Schrades used a mixture of a few different types of steel, anywhere between 440A, 440B, 440C, and or 420C, and then even 1095, and potentially D2. I'm not really sure. But this is an old Schrade made in the U.S. Fit and finish is not as good as, say, something like a Spyderco or, you know, Benchmade or Microtech, anything like that. But for what it is, pretty darn good. Look at that blade. It's centered. It actually feels pretty good in hand. It's simple. You know why? It's just got a simple, beautifully simple handle. Actually, it actually makes me not want to sell it because it feels so good in hand. uh, anyway, so Schrade was a knife company. Used to be made in the U.S. They started in Walden, New York, back in 1904, and then they expanded and they grew significantly. And unfortunately, well, then they moved, I think, to a couple different places within the Walden area. Then they eventually expanded even more so into Ellenville, New York, which was about, I want to say, an extra 20 minutes away from Walden. And they were there up until 2004, when unfortunately they closed their doors and went out of business. And it had to do with, from what I understand, it wasn't bankruptcy. It was they had a really good warranty on their knives, to where if you lost one, they'd just give you a brand new knife. And I have a friend who's very knowledgeable about the Schrade knives, the American-made knives. So he was informing me of this, and yeah, they had a really good warranty, and they couldn't keep up. And I think people were saying that things were wrong with their knives, or knives were lost or stolen or misplaced or what have you, when they really were not. So that's a shame because they were some very high quality made knives. Now, like I said, uh, even up until they closed, was the quality as good as, you know, as good as Benchmade, Microtech, Spyderco, Kershaw even. Uh, Probably not, depending on the knife. Might have been comparable with Kershaw. Some of their slip joints were very, very good. Very, very good. I don't have any here to show you. I do have some, but uh, anyway, good knife company. It's unfortunate it's out of business. Now they're made in China. They reopened their doors in 2007 in China, like unfortunately a lot of knife companies when they closed. That was one of the oldest American-made knife companies. The other one prior to that was, well, there were others. There was the Napanock Knife Company, Newberg Knife Company back in the 1900s, and before that was Camillus Knife Company. They were out of Camillus, New York. Believe it or not, New York State has a huge, rich history of knife making for years. Camillus was upstate, and they were in business. They were America's oldest knife company. Started in 1876, and unfortunately closed its doors in 2007. Their quality was also excellent, very, very good. And it's a shame that they went under as well. And then they reopened in like 2010 or something. They're made in China now as well. But, you know, it's been a knife history. Next, the Kershaw Ram, G&G Hawk design and lock. Flipper works well. You can, sorry, I'm going to do it. You can actually, hold on, there you go. Use your thumb. I've actually noticed middle finger flick works quite well, actually. Ergonomics on this are very good, but time to part with some of these. Benchmade AFO2. That oil is still fresh from the factory because I've never used it. That's how it came. That's the spine lock. This was a limited edition. I don't know if it was strictly through Blade HQ or what have you, but this was a limited colorway with the gray G10. Excuse me, gray aluminum 6061 T6 aluminum. Has that kind of chalky texture that Benchmade is known for on their aluminum. Very nice, very good grit, good grip as well. And next is this is a Linder unnamed double action C420, Austria, Germany. This is a liner lock, very grippy. Or excuse me, not really grippy, just, I mean, I guess it's grippy. It's not grippy like it's going to tear your clothing. It's rubbery, and it just feels really good in hand, like really, really good. There you go. Okay, does not come with a pocket clip. Didn't have one. They didn't make it that way. All right. You obviously know what this is. This is a Conigarius M390 non-flipper, bright washed with polished flats, woven carbon fiber, 6ALV. 6ALV. My goodness, 6AL V4. I thought it was always 4V titanium, but either way. Generation 4, May 23rd, 2022. This was a Blade Show exclusive. So, here's the knife. Beautiful bronze anodized screws. That bright washed carbon fiber. When talking to Bill about this, when I bought it Um, he said it was kind of like a copper dust, and it really has that beautiful shimmer and chatoyance to it. It's really, really gorgeous. Backspacer. Sorry, it's just probably my hands being a little. Hold on, we'll wipe that off. All right, sorry about that. A little better. Yeah. Anyway, I even like the look a little better without the flipper. The non-flipper just looks so good. Action. Excuse me. Stellar, as you can imagine, with all Koenigs. All right, next up. Make sure that's... All right, let's go around the circle. Oh, obviously, not a pair, or excuse me, not a knife, but a pair of Ray-Bans. These are the Aviator, large metal. It's got like the gold rim. Made in Italy. Probably going to sell these as well. Brand new box. That's how it came to me. It just, I don't think it's really for me. Next is the Almar. I believe this is the Eagle, the larger version. All right, and this is the one with the polished micarta. Robust backlock. Look at that nice thin blade. See the logo. Osei Moki Japan. So this is one of the ones you want to get, guys. The ones now are made in China. And blade centering is fantastic. Perfect. Next up, the Microtech LUDT. It's a serial number, USA 112020. 204p when they were using 204p. This knife is brand new. I did have it sharpened because I accidentally bumped it up against something and kind of nicked the blade, so I just had somebody sharpen it. That's why you might see this little mark where he was sharpening against the DLC coating, or perfectly centered. Yeah. Oops, sorry. It's funny. It looks, if you're watching this video and you're looking at the centering, the way that I'm holding it is cockeyed, but it shows up straight in the video. If I hold it straight to me, it shows up cockeyed for you. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Very cool color combo. Very comfortable in the hand. Very thin behind the edge, too. This is going to cut probably better than most of the knives in front of you. It just has a very nice thin edge behind it. Geometry cuts, guys, if you didn't know. Next, the Buck. And I would even say that Schrade back then, or they had the potential to. Some of their other models were even better than Buck. I know some of you guys are Buck fans. This is a older Buck. I kind of like this model a lot, but, time to go. Not really a fan of the pocket clip, though. It's okay. It's not the tip down that matters so much. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of sharp. Just the way it kind of, I don't know. It's not my thing. It's kind of too long, mostly. But, can middle finger flick it quite well. 420HC. I just like these older models, though. Better designs, This is kind of like a polished as well. Not quite polished like the Almar, but very smooth micarta. Just like the Almar, but different. But nice texture. See this design. The Buck logo. Liner lock. Looks like it's running on phosphor bronze washers. Okay. Let's see. All right. Next is the Sly Steel. I don't remember the model This had a name, but it's made by Tops, if you didn't know. Comes in this really neat sheath. Very, very small. It's only like, honestly, guys, I think the blade as a whole, if you were to measure this with the handle, I think it's like maybe 4 inches, 3.5. It's really small, but it's a good little backup blade. Throw it on your belt, works just fine. But I mean, Sly Steel was a company. This is the bag that it came in. Back in the day, it's made in Idaho Falls. Same place as Tops. Okay, Sly Steel. I don't think they are still in business or they don't use that branding anymore, but still, very cool knife. The one in the middle, I've thought about keeping this, but I think I'm going to probably let it go. This is the sorry, I blanked for a second. The Creeley Blades Mako in CPM Crew Wear. Very comfortable. Very comfortable. I never understood this hump. Like, it's beautifully contoured and chamfered and everything. There's no hot spots, but I don't know. People might say it's palm filling. Maybe it is. I don't know. I could deal with just a straight back design personally. You know, that's kind of why I've always been fond of, like, just a simple, clean, elegant, you know, straight, flat design on either side. You know. Yeah, anyway. I know a lot of the knives I have here have curves and grooves, but let's see. Okay, just a few more. This is a model. This is a Mazarin, made in Italy. It actually came with this Allen wrench, which I thought was kind of cool. I like when knife companies put little extras in the box. This is a Mazarin 600N or climbing 600N model, whatever. I think it's, what is it, say on here? 440. Yeah. It doesn't say C, A, or B. If I had to guess, I would say it is, sorry, I took that off the blade. I don't know what was on there. I would say it's probably A, my opinion. Thumb stud works great. Centering, beautiful. Just got one liner there. Liner goes all the way over. Well, yeah, but aluminum handles, still nice. I like the design. I used to have one of these made in Italy. I do really like the design. That's why I liked it. Or, excuse me, I got it. I got a version of this years ago when I was younger. And I remember it was in black aluminum. Same type of bead blast blade. And I remember I went to the gym one time and I wrapped it up in a t-shirt and threw it in the locker. I didn't have a lock on it, and I should have just given it to the people that I knew behind the counter because, I worked at the gym, but I had a feeling they would give me a hard time about it, but neither here nor there. Would have been better if they held on to it for me because when I left it in the locker, I went to go play some basketball on the court, and somebody went into the locker and literally went through my t-shirt and took my knife and stole it. And that was really grimy. And I was very disappointed, and thankfully I was able to find one of these many years later. Pardon. But yeah, so time to part with some of these. Like I said, with all of these, actually. But anyway, that was kind of the background of that, but I think I got it relatively cheap. It was very reasonably priced, so, I'm not one to overcharge or rip people off, so these are going to be set at good prices. Okay, even some of the ones that are a little more rarefied, do they go up in value? Yes. Were they in higher demand? Yes. So they might be a little more, but I'm not one to rip you off. You know what I mean? I believe in paying a fair price. I've even paid for knives in the past that were either discontinued, limited run, whatever, and I paid a little more for them because supply and demand. Same with the Ram. I bought that for actually definitely a fair amount more than what it originally cost, but I never actually carried it. I just fondled it, and it is very cool. Out of all the ones I would keep, if I were to choose one, I don't know. I do like the Kershaw. Anyway, this is the H&K Mini Axis. I believe that was the name of it. Made in the U.S. I really like this grind by the plunge right here. Just got like these grooves. I don't know if that was intentional or not. This was made by Benchmade. Back when Benchmade had the rights or the collaboration with H&K. This is D2, not CPM D2, but American D2. And I just really like the blade shape. It's very cool looking. Blade's not really centered, but it's not rubbing either. Still a very good blade. Very nice. Very cool. All right. Let's see. Okay, I think this is the last one. Double check. This is the Kershaw Skyline. Okay, these used to go for like $35, made in the USA. These used to go for like $35, and for years, you know, like that was a heck of a buy. I think this is 13C26. I think the same of the Kershaw, maybe 14C28N, but I think 13C26. Benchmade 154CM, that is 420, M390, WAS 8, 204P, 420, probably 440A, something, 1095, Crewwear, D2, 440A, 1326. Okay. Yeah, this was a really good this is a very good American-made blade, especially for the price. And then it went up to like $40, then $45, then $50, and then they discontinued it for like a year, and they brought it back, and it was made in China for the exact same price as what it used to sell for like $35, maybe even a little cheaper. And I was like, well, that was stupid, you know? So they just took a market that was there, and they collapsed it and decided to make it in China, which was a shame. I won't buy Chinese knives. I've went on my spiel about that before. I do love, like, look at this. The attention to detail for a $35 knife. You had really great blade stops. It held up well. It's very solid lockup, guys. I mean, like, you know. Hold on, I just want to wipe that down. Some of these smudges, you need to, like, even these wipes, they work well, but you need to use, like, soap and water to really get it clean. Rock solid lockup. It's just very well done for the money. So, yeah. I don't think I missed. Let me see. Just want to make sure I don't have anything else. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I can't think of if I had anything else to talk about. I think I did mention to you guys, I did sell most of my knife collection just over the last couple of years. Probably had over 200 knives, and I've definitely sold a good 2/3 of that. Maybe even more by now, maybe like 3/4. So, you know, it's a good feeling, and the more you have, it doesn't satisfy. And you also realize over time what your tastes graduate to. You start to get a feel for things that you like that are maybe higher end. You know, I do have a couple customs you've seen on my channel, right? If you've watched some of my other videos, when you get into customs, it's a whole new world. And I still like some production, of course, like the Mannix is one of my favorite knives, as you guys know. Um, but there's something about progressing, and you start out with some of these, and then you get into higher end knives, and then you get into more expensive knives and higher end knives, and it's just a continual progression. And it's fun. It's a really cool journey. I've enjoyed it. It's not stopping, um, and I'll still enjoy collecting, but it's going to be more scrutinizing. There was a video made by a YouTuber that I like. He hasn't made videos in a while, but he's still around on Instagram, Epic Snuggle Bunny, and he had a video called Reduce and Refine, and he kind of talked about, I shouldn't say he talked about what I talked about. I'm kind of referencing him because of reducing and refining, and that theme was just getting it down to where you're focused more on quality over quantity. And quality is more important than quantity. So I think most people would agree with that. There was another guy by the name of Daddy-O EDC. I do remember him. I don't think his videos are still on YouTube. He might have taken them down. He seemed like a very real guy. I didn't know him, but his videos gave that impression. And I remember, I think one of his videos before he stopped filming years ago was a video discussing how he got his collection down to, I think, like 3 to 5 knives. And I was like, wow, that's impressive that you could discipline yourself to cut your collection down to such a small amount. And I was like, kudos to him. I don't know if I could get down to 5. I mean, maybe if I was really pushed, but that would not be easy. That would not be easy. But I think, I don't know. Like I said, I've gotten to a point where less is more. And yeah, and that was the reasoning, like I said earlier, as to why I was getting rid of them. Let me tell you guys, especially if there's anyone watching who's a born-again believer like myself, when you listen to the Lord, it's the best thing you can do. Obedience is better than sacrifice, as the scripture says. And when you obey the Lord, everything else falls into place. So, anyway, I think that's all I had to cover. I'm trying to think if I left anything out. No, I think that's it. I'm not trying to drag on the video. I'm just, sometimes things come up and then I think of it after the fact. Like, oh yeah, I should have mentioned that in the video when I was recording. And the Creeley box will come. I mean, all these will come with boxes, by the way. They all have their appropriate packaging, package material, or packing, excuse me. The packaging that they came with from the factory, from the shipper, from the previous owner, and or from the company itself. So I'll include all of that. And yeah, except for, I think, like I said, that the Sly Steel, the small little fixed blade, that just came in a little baggie. And yeah, everything else came with a box, what I can tell. So I think that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of the evening. Talk to you later. Bye.